We're here at time, I guess, 7:01, make it official. And yeah, welcome everybody. Let's have some fun tonight. This is pledge allegiance, please stand, face towards the flag. Veterans can give it a hand salute. Other folks, put your hand to your heart. And I'll pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Amen. And moment of reflection time. You can have your time to be quiet amongst yourselves there. You can
Probably not them.
wow. All right. Little reflection, sorry. Before that though, I would ask everyone please check your cell phones, make sure the volume is turned down for the meeting here. So I have respect for everything else going on. Make sure the ringers are turned off, not to disrupt the meeting itself, and we'll kind of go from there. So, dear Lord in heaven, please watch over us as congregation tonight. Please allow us all to be civil to one another, to have respect for what is going on here. Allow us to be here as friends in the township. We thank you for a good outcome with the election results. Thank you for everything that happened. Thanks for supporting your people you want to have in office and for keeping this place alive and doing well. Got the folks here wisdom and have them do great works in your name. We pray, amen. So roll call.
Supervisor Penzel,
I'm here.
Clerk Bracco here, Treasurer Miller here, Trustee Hires,
Here.
Trustee Menke,
Here.
Trustee Greenwood here, and Trustee Dingman is excused. So 6 present, we have a quorum.
Good, 6 out of 7. All righty. So, well, Digman's not here tonight. All right. Tonight be a lot of talking, a lot of words, a lot of fun tonight. Take a lot of sips of water to get through the whole thing. First is a resolution 11-14-2468, approval of the November 14th, 2024 consent agenda. Resolved. Okay. Is there a second? Excellent. Is there discussion?
This agenda we're on right now?
For tonight, yes.
For tonight, okay. One thing's missing. I would like to add a resolution to follow the Conflict of Interest Act. This is Act 196 of 1973. And it will go on at the end. Which will be number 11-14-2474, please.
Okay, so does that take a motion? What does it take? That?
We'll approve it in this. What?
Do you need a second?
I didn't do any motion first, which I can see the motion, but
State the resolution. So Erica, yeah, we do. Let's state the resolution. Is that what you say? Yes. Resolution to follow Act 196 of 1973, the Conflict of Interest Act. Do you have you have it in writing? Yeah, before we approve it. So that'll be resolution 11-14-2475.
alrighty, discussion.
Do you have a second?
Oh, it gets, so we do a second for the act, to add a resolution, don't we?
Make 5, yes.
Okay. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay. Discussion? I guess we wait around for discussion for that one. Well, I guess we have a roll call to add on the resolution conflict of interest as 11-14-75.
Yes, okay. Trustee Hires,
What's that? Do you want to add the resolution conflict of interest, 11/14/75.
Oh, we're voting for it, yes.
We're voting
Just see
to
if
add
should
it
we add it
to
up?
the agenda
For later
Yes.
discussion.
for later discussion. Okay. Clerk Bracco, yes. Trustee Menke.
Yes.
Supervisor Kenzel. Yes.
Yes.
Trustee Greenwood. No. Treasurer Miller.
Yes.
Okay. So 1 no, 4 yes, or 5 yes, and 1 is absent. So that will be voted on at a later time.
So approval of the November 14th, 24 consent agenda. Do we have a second do the motions to approve this agenda? Do we have a second to approve the agenda?
We have that. That
Okay.
is-
Discussion of the agenda. Roll call for the agenda.
Trustee Hires.
Yes.
Treasurer Miller.
Yes.
Clerk Bracco, yes. Trustee Menke.
Yes.
Trustee Greenwood.
Yes.
Supervisor Kenzel.
Yes.
6 yes. Motion approved.
Okay. Public comment on agenda items only. If you want to, we have a microphone and a podium. Anybody?
Anybody? Maybe we don't need to.
Going once. Going twice. Sold. All right. Reports, police and fire.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Bill Woodward. I'm the assistant chief. Chief Kokensparger is recovering from his surgery, and he extends his gratitude for the thoughts and prayers and everything for him. Just real quick, there's information in the packet, but I ran a couple extra reports on a request. So we have a fairly light month. There's 77 calls for service for the month. For the year, we're up to 841, and it covers all manual, whatever, medical, cars, accidents, fires, all that sort of stuff. I have a breakdown. We were asked to provide a little bit more information. Right now, as of October 31st, we average 5.97 persons per call. And that includes taking into account structure fires, car accidents, brush fires, medicals, the whole gambit. So there are times where we have a structure fire and there are 14 people there. There are times when I am the only one at a medical. So it goes across the board like that. We're waiting for answers for 2 grant requests that we put in. One is for $10,000 for reimbursement grant for our turnout gear. We've been successful with that in the past, the last 2 years, we've been able to get that. And we have a DNR grant for wildland fire equipment. We're waiting for that answer. Those 2 are supposed to be done by the end of this month, first part of next month. The FEMA Assistance to Firefighter Grant period opened up on the 12th. We're looking at the priorities in that and seeing if there's anything in there that would benefit us to apply for that. You can apply for anything you want to in there, but they have different levels. They have high, medium, low. So you try and pick those high level ones, where you're most likely to get approved. But you also have to make sure that what you're asking for is necessary and needed. You know, you don't want to just ask just because. So we're looking at those priorities. There's also in February, the PAR group, which is our insurance company, they have a safety grant that we'll put in for. Again, we'll look at what basically that is risk reduction. So whatever we can fall into that with risk reduction, maybe it's dash cams, maybe it's exhaust removal system, maybe it's whatever it is. And then AAA also has a traffic safety first responder grant that we put in for in the past. We'll be putting in for that too. That can cover anything from extrication equipment to traffic control devices, things like that. So the people that serve you, just as a reminder, are not full-time.
Chief
We don't
Woodward,
have any full-time people.
I'm sorry, could you speak up a little bit
Yeah.
more?
We don't have any full-time people. What we have are a group of dedicated people that take time out of their lives to provide these services to the public, to you. So as everyone celebrates Thanksgiving coming up, if there's an issue, if there's a 911 call, we will leave our families and come to serve you. Okay? That's what we do. And you have the best in the area. And I would say pretty close to being the best in the state. So with that, are there any questions? You guys are awesome. Thank you.
Thank you. I have a quick question for you. I don't know about this right here. Is there going to be a crew housed at a fire station over the holidays?
No,
Barry, you don't have permission to move or touch anything that doesn't belong to you.
I believe you don't know what's going on. Ma'am, you're not lying.
Yeah, right there, Barry.
we respond from home. We don't.
Okay,
We don't have that ability at this point. There may come a time in the future where we are able to staff somebody during.
no, that's not that. My friend makes dinner for the police station.
Yeah.
We do for the fire station as well, but
Yeah.
for the holidays, everything accepted. So you're not,
Sure.
that's okay.
Yeah.
You're home.
I
All
appreciate
right, making sure. Well, thank you. For the police sheriff to give a report for the police.
You're tied up with something right now.
I'm sorry?
The report's in the packet. You're tied up.
Okay. All right, well, moving along here. Legislative. We have Mr. Frisbee down here. Report? No. All right, moving along here to the superintendent report.
All right, meet them, Ranger bid. You can go search that Ranger bid, if you will. And that's where the auction items will be on November 26th. That's coming up in a couple weeks. Big auction opens the day before. We begin a bid and then it'll run for 24 hours. Just so everybody wants to go and check that out. Construction is probably, it might be about halfway done with the project over at the cemetery.
Let's first get the outbuilding taken care of.
Yes,
Fantastic. All right.
like electrical, we'll talk to consumers today. They gotta get a meter set. That's following along. The guys got a lot of work done on that. It's kind of a major thing going on. Of course, you got the budget, plenty of tonight. Progress getting made. They made it through the election.
All righty.
That was busy.
Building and zoning reports update.
Yep, so basically, I just want to give everyone a little update. There's all the rumblings about the consumer solar project coming. Ultimately, Public Act number 233, which will be effective November 29th, 2024, essentially bypasses or gives consumers or any other company the option to bypass all local ordinances in building their solar project. I consider us extremely lucky that consumers approached us and is willing to work within our ordinance. In my opinion, we have a very restrictive, in a sense, ordinance, and they're absolutely willing to work within that. I can't tell you a ton right now. It is a little over 2,100 pages total in the packet, and I'm not that fast of a reader. But if you guys want to look at anything, it'll be on the website next week. Everything of it will be. If you guys want to see the big maps in person, reach out to me. We can set up a time. I can come in here. We can lay everything out. Like I said, 2,100 pages. It's 1,500 pages. That's just the environmental study. So it's deep, but I think it will be overall a very good project. We're getting about a third of the whole project. Johnstown is getting quite a bit more than us. I think it's 449 acres on our side and 1,500, just over 1,500 on the Johnstown side. It's all pretty much in our township, contained to the area of Baseline, Banfield, 37, Hamilton, and Collier, shoved in some of those old Albert Farm cornfields right now. It's going to be well screened. It's going to have a berm. It's going to have trees. It's going to be, at least a couple 100 feet, 300 feet off the property line. And yeah, there's going to be no noises or anything like that as of right now, from what I've read into the studies. So any other questions, shoot them my way next week or in the coming weeks. We can sit down with the application and everyone can look at it.
And Cody, to add to that, if anybody were to come down here to look at the maps of the various things as far as this project, please call, make an appointment, because Cody has a job to do, and it's not fair to just drop in unannounced and demand his time away from projects for the township to look at maps and have fun that way there. He will make an appointment for you. You can guys come down, look at the maps and go over things, but please be respectful of his time as well. He works very hard here, and to take care of that, he would make the time for you at an appointment scheduled time slot. So there we go. Unfinished business. None? That makes it pretty easy then. Open public hearing for the 2025 budget. The budget estimate for revenue is 3,000.
What time are you opening it?
Do it?
What time are you opening it?
Oh, 7:60.
But the website design go under unfinished business.
Unfinished business is items that need to be addressed by the board. Projects that have already been approved by the board and on the works, unfinished business. There's no action need to be taken by the board.
Interesting. So you remove that from there from now on. Okay.
Okay. So the 2025 budget estimate, total revenue, $3,882,974. Total appropriations, $3,813,227. So now we just open public hearing.
Okay.
We're just gonna keep going down there. I don't know if you guys had to address this first. We went down to number 10. All righty. Public comment for the 2025 budget only. Rules of procedure for public comment. Actually, yes, we will kind of take a break here 1 second here. Skip back to Officer LaValley for the police report. Just a copy here, make sure all covered on all aspects. Good evening.
Evening. Sorry for the delay.
Oh, you're fine.
So, okay, so for the month of October for calls of service for Bedford Township, we took a total of 367 calls. We took a stolen vehicle incident in the area of Redner Ave. The victim reported their vehicle stolen in the morning hours, and it was recovered by the city and county in approximately 1 hour in an abandoned cornfield. So we got it recovered, but now we're doing the investigation of who took it. Because none of the keys were left inside of it, so.
It wasn't me. That helps out at all.
So, we did have a robbery that occurred, in the area of Cross Street and Wellington Ave. Apparently there's some, teenagers were having a party. They were on, people know what Snapchat is. They posted on their Snapchat story that they were having a party that night and they were going to invite anyone and everyone and gave that. So that went through Snapchat and there was three suspects that arrived to the house, and one of the individuals on scene did have a gun on his waist and he got robbed. And the three suspects stole the gun. So that currently is under still investigation. So if we have kids out there, just be mindful for parents. Have the kids be careful on Snapchat or social media aspects because nothing goes good on social media. No. We had multiple arrests in the township for warrant arrests, domestics, operating while intoxicated, and we recovered some weapons in the township the last month. And then, as you guys may know, tomorrow is opening gun season. The bucks are on the run. I can tell personally, working night shift the last couple of weeks, I have seen a ton of bucks anywhere or everywhere around township. So just be mindful driving at night or in the morning. They're going to be on the run. So, but that's all I have.
Thank you.
Yep.
All right, back to the budget time frame. Public comments for the budget only. We're provided. If you get gavel 3 times, a nice officer will escort you outside off the premises. Anybody want to talk about the budget? Open public. All packets provided, all looked at it, we're all happy. Anything? Wow. Phew. Scared. So I guess we're gonna close it then?
Yeah.
Close it. 20. Outstanding. Petitions and new business. Long one here. I read the whole thing. Oh my God. Resolution 11-14-24-69. Whereas each township office has heretofore submitted to the superintendent an itemized estimate of anticipated expenditures for the township activities under his charge for the next calendar year of the township, and whereas on the basis of foregoing, the receiving officer has prepared and completed an itemized budget proposal and is submitted to the same to the township board, and whereas a public hearing has been held by the township board on said proposed budget preceded by less than 1 week published notice as required in section 26 of the Charter Township Act, and whereas all persons present at the public hearing, at said public hearing were afforded an opportunity to be heard and said proposed budget, and whereas such proposed budget as modified in the opinion of the township board is in the best interest of the government of the township and is reasonable and proper. Now, therefore, be it hereby resolved that said budget is inclusive with each department for the 2025 budget year and has been modified for the next calendar year of the township. It is hereby adopted to govern the expenditure of the township funds during said period, except to the extent of any subsequent board resolution. This budget may be subsequently allocated or reallocated in the best interest of the township government. Be it further resolved that the township levy millage tax for the general operation upon the taxable real and personal property within the township upon the current tax roll for the collection by the township and treasurer in the current December tax statement for the purposes of raising the necessary supplemental funds to meet the expenditures itemized in the aforesaid budget. Be it further resolved that no money shall be drawn from the treasury of the township and no obligation for the expenditure of money shall be incurred except pursuant to the budget or amended budget for a particular department, general function project, or principal activity, which limitation shall not, however, prevent the redistribution and the reallocation of funds within a particular department, general function, project, principal activity, without the amendment of the budget. Wow, I'm not a lawyer. The 2025 budget is in the amount of $3,882,974, which includes general fund $3,017,512, fire capital $253,322, fire operating $496,131, sewer $113,000 flat, and road fund $3,000 flat. Whew. Is there a proposal to approve this?
Approve.
There we go. Is there a second? Support. There we go. Discussion.
So there weren't many changes, according to my understanding, from last year's budget to this year's budget. If the superintendent would like to speak more on that, you may do so now.
Not many, increase in BSNA budget, but at some point we need to switch from the current platform I have to cloud base. And that's a $80,000 to $100,000 spend. They haven't discontinued support of the platform we're on, which is server based. But they will be at some point. They've been rolling on cloud, I think, 2 years, year and a half. Joyce might be able to remember that. It's coming down the road. So it's something we need to tackle. Yeah, there's some improvements to it, of course. We don't all share the same database, which sometimes it's kind of mind-boggling when Cody has to update something in order for another part of the system to see it. Just eliminate that. I mean, that's not the only reason to do it.
Right.
The ending of support for which we know is looming because they're not going to support it anymore. So that's in there. There's the carryover from last year, not a carryover, it's just another, continuation of the budget line for a cemetery. There's a project there that we'd like to do. So the budget there, we didn't get to it this year. We got one estimate, we'll get a couple more. Joyce and I were working on that. Everything else, I mean, pretty cut and dry.
Alright.
It's showing about a $63,000 plus at the end of it, which will increase because our last road payment is there, about 560,000, and that'll come out of fund balance, so technically that 560 that's now showing out of general will be, going into reserves.
Sure.
So. And the rest is just salary, but there's no salary position for that.
And there's a no addition for a hurricane fund?
No, I don't think we need.
Good. All right,
Was the salaries, I did notice, there was a couple of.
COLA increases, yep.
COLA increases and above COLA increases. A couple of employees got a raise above and beyond that. The first one was $35,000 is what the building and grounds guy was making. The guy before him was making $46,000, so that guy took like it was a pretty big pay cut. So we're moving up closer, but not completely at the pay rate from the 2021 rate.
So he's been doing a good job?
So just trying to pull him up to where it was before.
Right, he's been doing a good job,
He's
right?
doing a great job.
Okay, sounds appropriate.
And then the second one is for the clerk. I think it's either $5,000 or $7,000 extra on
Right,
top of.
because
COLA.
of the election, all the extra hours spent here, during election processes, it was deemed to be actually amicable for hours spent, job done with all the time here for the early election, the early voting, not elections, so the early voting, everything done, that actually was deemed to be appropriate.
So
elections are part of my statutory duties.
they're part of your statutory duties.
I understand that. And there's a lot of things that happen in the clerk's office that aren't statutory. So last year, Erica, we were on the same page with it, of getting a raise, and I didn't get the raise. So,
So I studied.
I think it's fair.
The extra workload involved, and that's what came up with that money, for that amount, that suggestion. And there's a salary provision, so, budget is just a roadmap for where we go. The salary, resolution is actually the authority to spend. So that's why there are two different spots. Before, we haven't had a salary resolution with the accountants. Would like to see, that's why they're in two places.
So I was just saying that was a couple of extra increases in that.
And the fire chief too, he got $200 extra.
Fire chief got every guy got a couple bucks extra, yep.
Yep.
Above the COLA, you're right, that was the last angler. Okay.
Anything else?
And we did do an increase for Mr. McCarty, correct?
Yes.
That's right.
Much well-deserved increase. You have a lot of work moving forward.
All right, nothing else is there. Roll call, please.
Treasurer Miller,
Yes.
trustee Hires,
Yes.
trustee Menke,
Yes.
trustee Greenwood,
Yes.
supervisor Penzel,
Yes.
clerk Bronco, yes. 6 yes. Motion carried.
We're going to a much shorter resolution. Resolution 11-14-2470, resolved by the Board of Trustees of the Charter Township of Bedford to adopt 2025 salaries and pay rates per document labeled Bedford Township Salaries 2025, document attached. So move, is there support?
Support.
All right, is there discussion? I think we just kind of did that pretty much there. We just did it. Anybody else? Roll call, please.
Trustee Greenwood,
Yes.
trustee Menke,
Yes.
clerk Bronco, yes. Treasurer Miller,
Yes.
trustee Hires,
Yes.
supervisor Penzel,
Yes.
6 yes, motion carried.
Resolution 11-14-2471, resolved by the Board of Trustees of the Township of Bedford to approve a $2 per hour raise for all firefighters as requested by Chief Cockesparger, along with the increase in the chief's salary from $7,800 to $8,000 annually. Give that $200 increase for him. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Is there support? Or, all righty.
That's that handout I gave to you that shows the current salaries.
Yep.
Current hourly rates.
And actually, part of that too, as we discussed beforehand, was that we actually have fewer firefighters than needed. So as we have here, doing more hours, more job, and to keep them actually retained, that $2 hour raise is kind of important to actually make sure we have firefighters who want to respond to the calls. So it's a good thing. Is there more discussion? Roll call, please.
Trustee Menke.
Yes.
Clerk Rocco, yes. Treasurer Miller.
Yes.
Supervisor Kendall.
Yes.
Trustee Hires.
Yes.
Trustee Greenwood.
Yes.
6 yes. Motion carries.
Resolution 11-14-24-72. Resolved by the Board of Trustees of the Charter Township of Bedford to accept the recommendation of the Fire Department to hire and train Cody McCarty as a firefighter on Chief Calkins Parker and Assistant Chief's direction.
So moved.
Is there support? Is there
So who moved
discussion?
that? Greenwood, and who supported?
I thought I beat you to it.
Sorry. You can
I
have
worked
it
with
if you
you.
want it.
So who supported?
I did.
Thank you. Okay.
Is there discussion?
I think it's a great idea.
I think
It is
it'll
a
be
great
a great
idea.
addition to it.
I think he's a hardworking young man. This would be a good benefit for our township and you know, actually help him in his personal growth as far as what he does right here, his involvement in the community. So I'm very happy to see this. So pretty cool, Cody. Way to go, bud. Let's have a roll call, please.
Trustee Menke.
Yes.
Clerk Rocco, yes. Treasurer Miller.
Yes.
Trustee Hires.
Yes.
Supervisor Kendall.
Heck yeah.
Trustee Greenwood.
Yes.
6 yes. Motion carried.
Outstanding. Resolution 11-14-24-73. Resolved by the Board of Trustees of the Charter Township of Bedford to make the following budget adjustments. Dr. each one?
Mhm.
Oh my God. 101 TAC 265.000 TAC 970.201 minus 557, 570 TAC 78. 852 TAC 000.000 TAC 990.003 added on 553, 325.00. 852 TAC 000 dot, let's say point 000 TAC 990.004 plus $24,245.78. 852 TAC 000.000 TAC 663.000 add on $100. 101 TAC 101.000 TAC 970.017 minus $100.
Nice
If
job.
that made sense to anybody.
It does when we look them off.
Alrighty, motion.
Who's moving?
Who's moving?
Moving.
She's moving.
Support.
Who's supporting?
Support. Greenwood.
Who's supporting? Discussion.
It looks like to me, just based on the numbers, you're moving money from the general to the roads. Or it's probably backwards, because I think your 101 should have been plus and your 852 should have been the minus.
Man.
Sure.
Barry?
So
Please expound.
originally, the check was written to pay off the second to last road fund payment out of building and ground, which is the 265, which does have a road improvement category on it. However, the road fund was to be paid out of the road fund. The road fund money is in the road fund, 852. So originally, a couple months ago, we moved money from general operating to that 265 account to cover that check that was written. But then once we looked at it and how it actually should have been done, then it needed to be moved to the road fund. And I had, Treasurer Miller move the money actually from the road fund account to that to cover it to the general.
Okay.
This general made that check payment. So this just moves it from the wrong department to the right department,
So the reflection's accurate.
essentially cleaning up a
This
lot
is
of.
good.
And you had been
Okay.
working with Heather from Manifest Harrison
Yeah. I
to work
have
through
fairly
some of these.
Good command of the budget.
Okay. Any more discussion?
No.
Roll call.
Clerk Rocco, yes. Treasurer Miller.
Yes.
Trustee Hires.
Yes.
Trustee Menke.
Yes.
Trustee Greenwood.
Yes.
Supervisor Kendall.
Yes.
6 yes. Motion carried.
Resolution 11-14-24-74, resolved by the Board of Trustees of the Charter Township of Bedford to approve the recommended pay rate of 26.75 per hour full-time for Lisa Kropsky, Deputy Clerk, estimated budget of the 50,000 annually. Is there a move? Move again? Okay. Support? Good.
Who was the move? Miller?
Erica,
Okay,
is there a discussion?
yes. So, just a background, the former deputy clerk, Tara, has, left the township. She served us well for 3.5 years. And she's moving on to follow her passion. She has, a new opportunity that is a great fit for her. It's something that's in her skill set. And, therefore we had to find a replacement. The next one, Lisa, do you want to stand? I'll introduce you to Lisa Cropsey.
Hi, Lisa.
You may have seen her. She did work elections as an hourly elections helper, which we would not have been able to make it without you, the third person. She's excited. She's gonna be a great addition to the team. Feel free to stop by and say hi to her.
Welcome.
Thank you. I'm excited to serve my community.
Outstanding. Glad you're here. Roll call, please.
Trustee Greenwood,
Yes.
trustee Hires,
Yes.
supervisor Penzel,
Yes.
clerk Faracco, yes, treasurer Miller,
Yes.
trustee Menke.
Yes.
6 yes, motion carries. Welcome.
Outstanding. Moving on to the fun time, public comments. Same rules.
Additional resolution.
I'm sorry, Dad. You know, I got the, all right, so I'm sorry, in conflict of interest, 11-14-75, you know, the digit inside there?
Yeah, 11:20 or 11:14.
11-14-24-75.
Yeah.
Okay, the resolution for the conflict of interest.
So this requires us, well, we should be following it anyways, but this definitely
I
requires
think we need
us.
to move it and,
Oh, you're right. Sorry.
yeah, no,
Is there a motion to move or
Motion.
is there support? Public comment time. Same rules do apply. Podium's here, microphone if needed.
I would like to say a few things, and that would be,
Take your name, please.
my name is Tara McClendon.
Hi, Tara.
I live on Virginia Avenue. I'm a resident of this township. And I saw that Miss Miller's boyfriend was putting on Facebook, you know, that disparaging the clerk and of course the deputy clerk, which was me at the time, saying how easy this was. And there's only one day of voting. And I want to just kind of clarify, I know that sometimes it's just not said enough, but in 2022, the residents and all of the citizens of the state of Michigan, not everyone, but enough residents voted to change the election laws. And when I first started here, we were sending out about 1,100 absentee ballots per election. That means sending out an application, it comes back, you process it, you send out a ballot. There's 3 different precincts, and there's probably 6 different ballots, depending on who you are, where you live, what school district, et cetera. Follow? Okay, so that has now gone up to over 2,000. So there's an additional 700-800, you know, that the clerk has to process, send those ballots out, process them back. We all know elections are extremely important. And to keep everything right and tight and on task takes a lot of time and effort. So not only that, we voted for 9 days of early voting. She has to staff that place. An additional 9 days, that's 2 weekends that were over and above the weekend that we worked before the election. How would she have done that? I think she deserves the raise. Last year, as I recall, the deputy treasurer got a $35,000 raise because she had to process credit card payments, and that was a big cumbersome thing. There was no law that changed to swiping a credit card to make a payment on somebody's taxes. So because, you know, sometimes people don't feel safe voting in the precinct. Sometimes people don't have the physical ability to get up and vote. So we have to make that absentee ballot available to people. And it's increasing and increasing, which means so are her jobs and her taxes. So I think it's important to look at how has her job changed. These are the statutory that the residents of the state of Michigan voted in favor of. I don't think too much has changed with the fact that we're still paying our real estate taxes. Those laws are, you know, I mean, other than, you know, credit card payments might take an extra, you know, 10, 20 minutes a day. So I think $35,000 for that deputy far surpasses maybe $5,000 that the clerk would be asking for an entire year. So I just thought I would bring that up and maybe make somebody, if they weren't aware of some of the election laws that changed and how that impacts just her statutory duties alone. Thank you and have a nice day.
Thank you.
Yep.
Hi.
Hello, I'm Rita Kerwin. I live in the township on Roxbury Lane. First of all, I want to thank Mr. Woodward because, yes, you've been to my house a couple of times for emergency. And thank the board. But my two other things are, who do we talk to about a light on Collier and West Michigan? Every morning, Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, it takes me 20 minutes to turn left on Michigan.
A stoplight.
We need a stoplight.
Okay, sorry, I thought like street light.
No stoplight. There's been accident after accident after accident.
Mhm.
I don't get it. We don't have a traffic light up there. Somebody's going to get killed. That's number one. Then we have these little hooligans. I've talked to Officer Valley, and I know they patrol our street. Got these little hooligans laying in the street. Parents don't care. Got chickens running all over the street, in our yards. I pick the chickens up and take them over to their owners. Get your chickens out of my yard. Nobody does anything. Jim's been out there. I was gonna say, Jim's been over there, but they don't listen. Chicken's still in the yard. Tired of it. Just tired of it. Get tired of it. The other thing, I've been down here too many times to the assessor. I'm gonna come to your house, Rita. I'm gonna come to your house on a Thursday. I stay home on a Thursday. I don't see the assessor come to my house about my garage. Unfinished garage, by the way. I'm not gonna sit at my house all day on a Thursday anymore. I talk about this, we gotta be better. I want the assessor to come to my house about my garage that's unfinished. Because I don't wanna pay taxes on an unfinished garage. That's all I have to say.
Thank you, Rita. So Barry, next week, talk to the assessor, please. I'll get out there and, you can talk to the assessor, then give Rita a call back to let her know the time frame assessment. I appreciate it. Thank you. He'll be out. He'll give you a call here by next week, Tuesday. I'll probably give you a phone call with a date and time, or next week we'll give you a call. We'll make it happen. He's on it. He's got you.
Yeah.
The light, who actually would be in charge of assessing for the need for that light there?
Road commission.
Road commission?
That's a process, not an easy one.
It's the state of Michigan.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
because it's a state highway, they're involved and they've done traffic counts, but they don't do traffic counts at the proper time. You know, it's from 7 o'clock in the morning till 9, and from 2:30 to 4, you can't barely turn right out of there because of
6:30.
traffic. 6:30,
6:30.
yeah. Because of the traffic through there, and we've had a number of major accidents at that intersection, including deaths. One of the criteria that the state uses for that is the number of deaths, and you have to have a certain number before
That's
they'll
horrible.
consider putting a traffic light.
wow.
That's horrible.
That was an old criteria, I don't know if it's gonna use that or not, but because it is a state road, it goes through MDOT. And then it would also help address the speed on the road as well, because one of the things that help control speed are traffic control devices.
Sure.
Such as, so having the traffic light at Custer and the traffic light at Stringham, if we had one at Collier, that would help break that speed up and make an ease for traffic. So it's whoever wants to take that on, it actually has to go through MDOT.
I think Seth does. Sorry, Seth.
I think he's on it already. He's on it already.
I saw him had his head down. It's like. Well, like, that needs looked into. The safety of our township, that needs to get looked into. Something. Put on a spike strip, anything, I don't know.
Yeah.
I want to go down the road.
Yeah, all right, but if we can, again, Alrighty, anybody else?
Mike Leck, former supervisor here, and man, this supervisors we've had since I've been here, it's been quite the roller coaster, and I think we're just on for another long ride here. The next one, we have such a problem growing quickly in our community now of elected officials using the local court and police to silence people that they don't want to have share what's going on about them and what's going on in the township. And it's pretty disgusting what we've seen here tonight. But Calhoun County has a lot of eyes on it. And those eyes are just growing. And you think that you can use your Gestapo tactics because that is a
Three, two, one, whenever you're ready.
We're live. Anybody else?
Scott Blanchard, Bedford Township. First off, I'd like to congratulate everybody who participated in the recent elections. I don't think that it could have gone much better for our township. To compare us to Nazi Germany is utterly laughable. And you would have thought that people in the national election would have thought better of invoking the name of dead Nazis and polarizing communities against each other. My hope for this board going forward with the new elected board is that we can lower the temperature and bring the community together. When I was a scout leader and when I've been working with kids, I always told them that we have First Amendment rights and that they should take every opportunity for that, but that what you say matters. Words have meaning and words have power. Words have consequences. So just because you can say something doesn't necessarily mean that you should. And that there can be ramifications for what you say. Just because you might not get locked up, doesn't mean that you can't be held accountable. There were some things said about me at this meeting last time that I was here. Deplorable, reprehensible things. And had I not had the relationship that I have and the friendships that I have and not been comfortable with who I am, well, that could have been a problem. Or God forbid, I were actually in the classification of people that I was accused of being and not ready to have that come out to the world. So one thing that I would like to see is we put our internet presence together is some resources to mental health in the local community, because some of these blowhards, I swear to God, they peaked in high school with their rhetoric. Because I've heard more eloquent conversations in high school locker rooms. So again, I pray that our township elected officials can get this reined in and bring people to the middle. Thank you.
Mr. Kinsel, there's continuing to be a disturbance in the audience with someone trying to get people and putting on newly hired deputy clerk. If you could keep an eye on that, please.
Sure. So, anybody else? Please.
First, my name is Shannon Hopkins. I live here in the township, and I'd like to thank Joyce and her deputy. I was a prior elected clerk. It's a tough job. A lot of midnight burning oil, doing these elections, and it's even worse now than when I was in. So I want to thank you. You too. It's a tough job. I don't think it's thankful enough. So I think that's good. You deserve everything you get.
Thank you.
Also, I was recently elected. I look forward to joining the board. I think Bedford is good. I think we can make it great. I think we can all work together, calm the rhetoric. Everybody work together, and I think we'll do well. Thank you.
Thank you. Just for fully off-the-wall question. Are you the podiatrist?
Me?
No, him. Hoskins.
No.
Nope.
No,
different
no.
Hoskins.
Oh, good ask.
Right, never mind.
No.
I know his name is I've been person, so. Anybody else? Okay. Moving on to the elected officials and trustees' personal privilege.
The only thing I got to say is, Mark, thank you for what you've done up here, you know. I don't know what you're gonna do with your time now, but thanks for being up here and, thanks everybody for coming. You know, let's keep this place full of more ideas. So thanks for coming.
Just want to say it was a pleasure to serve. Great township. I know it'll continue to get better. I'm looking forward to the new board, young people on the board, younger people than some of us old guys. It's a good thing. It's a very good thing. So I'm looking forward to the new board.
I want to thank you and Ms. McClendon, as well as the precinct workers, everyone that helped out for the election. We don't just have, you know, presidential election. We represent 3 school districts. You guys do a lot of work. It's commendable and needs to be acknowledged. As well as the progress that the board has made the last 4 years. We started with COVID. We transitioned from doing meetings on Zoom to doing meetings in person. There have been a lot of transitions and turnover. There's been a lot of conflict. We've had to create different resolutions to address issues, but we continue to make progress in the community. We don't let that stop us. So I think it's been a wonderful board, and I thank everyone. And I want to thank Seth especially. We've hired a municipal attorney. That was the best decision we could have ever done. And I look forward to the new board moving forward. That's all I have.
Yep.
Announcement by chair. All right, yeah, this is the last meeting. Always the turnout's good, whether you've got positive or negative, doesn't matter, still say it. Definitely don't wanna, keep you from doing that. We started training the new treasurer. You guys are gonna love her. She'll do you good. And, just a clarification about the $35,000 deputy raise. She went from, part-time 1 day a week to full-time 4 days a week. So that'd be a difference in that. But that's it. I did want to, try to get the board to follow, the conflict of interest, for 2 reasons. The first is that, we use Barry's hardware for some of the stuff and supplies around here. Barry owns that. And the second reason was when we hired our new blight officer, he was the one cleaning it up, but since we hired him, he gave it to his kids. But then I happened to notice today that the checks are going to his address, so I thought that was a conflict of interest. However, the counter to that was that, supposedly the board is telling him to clean it up. So because he's not ordering it, so it's okay. So I was just looking to have some clarity, see what was going on with that, but nobody else wanted to talk about it. So, okay. That's all I got.
Joyce.
So I have some election numbers. I
Oh.
thought that would be interesting. So we had, almost 1,783 absentee ballots were processed. We had 1,105 early voting ballots where you went in person to the school center. Our total count of voters in the township is 8,114. So the rest, we didn't have obviously 100% turnout, but we had a 63.54% turnout.
What is it normally? Is it historically about right?
That's about right. But 63, so that left a big margin of 36% that could have changed votes either way. Yeah. That, and then we already talked about the new deputy and saying farewell to the former deputy. Mark, I think we talked earlier and you said you had spent about 40 years involved in the township. 26 years involved in the township.
Feels like 40.
Feels like 40. Yeah, you're right. And that it doesn't go unnoticed. So thank you for that service. I appreciate it.
And I'm just gonna play with my bees and have fun.
That's a good way. I did have a list of items that we have gone through that have happened, but I think you're going to touch most of them, so I will leave that alone. But thank you to everyone for turning out for the election. Thank you for supporting the board. I look forward to working with the new board. See how we get, how far we go, what goals we can accomplish. I hope to get something started in the cemetery for cremains. So we'll address that as it happens. Thank you. Congratulations to those that won the election and move forward. All you.
All righty. Wow. This was a lot faster than I thought it would tonight. I thought the budget would be a long, drawn out process, painful and it's going to be a number of nightmares, but we're pretty good. I was pretty happy with that whole thing. As some of you do know, some of you don't know, I was brought in here last November on the election ballot. Election ballot to run as the superintendent. And I was an unknown person, won the election by a large margin, got in here, learned the job, school of hard knocks. Barry was very stiff with me, very rigid, just make sure I did my job properly, and I appreciate him for it. He held me accountable, held my feet to the fire, as it were, make sure I learned and did things better every time. So I really do appreciate his tutelage as the role of supervisor he stepped into. He's done a phenomenal job with keeping this place running, working very hard for the township, doing so much, being there to help out others in the township hall and running around doing everything. He's just fulfilled the job greatly, and I'm very thankful he's been here actually to do it, not try to mail it in or be elsewhere like his hardware store, his job here occasionally. He's been here 24/7, and it's been amazing. not just dropping in for 10 hours a week and running around and yelling at people. So it's been a breath of fresh air. So wonderful for that. From what I can tell, as far as this whole board here, they've actually had a very tough time, right? Lasted through COVID and made all those changes and adaptations that we had to make. This current board is before my time, but you know, you guys did a great job. Bringing all the steadfast to all the tough times with the multiple supervisors from Joni on around and changes and uncertainties, then bringing me in as an unknown person and going forward from there. Updating the video recording process, and thank you, Cody, for helping the whole process there and getting that going on. Strengthened with the planning commission, that planning board just did so much, a lot of hard work, which I think you involved that too, Stacy. The planning commission, tons of work there, tons of hours put into that project. That was great. Parks and Rec brought back the Fall Fest. Hopefully, this year that'll keep on getting bigger and grow and become more popular and bring this community together in a positive light. We passed a balanced budget. I've heard it was very painful, but this was actually quite nice. I liked it. We have this new model here called the superintendent model, which you were touching with as far as Barry. It's running quite well, like it a lot. Removal of the gas station blight in the corner of Michigan and New Bern. We have the River Road Water Project. We got a grant to pay for it all. It's actually out of our budget. That's been an amazing thing. That's just millions of dollars it's saved for us and helping out the community. Fire Station 1, which has been condemned since 2017, is finally now being slated to be tore down, rebuilt. And I did talk to Barry about this, but for the board, for the new board members who are coming on here, please have the foresight to talk to the firefighters and the chiefs and get their input on the building of on the plans for the building, the architecture, because they work there, they sleep there, they do all the rolling of the hoses there. They know what they need to have and spaces that are adequate for storage and layouts and everything else that are what flows best for them for how they work. Please include them. Please keep them in mind for that process so we can make the best fire station here ever and keep it running for many years to come and serve our community well. We have Coffee and Conversations was started and keeps on growing. The $2 general stores were built in the township to add more revenue. And there's been an update on the security of the township offices. So we have a lot of positive things that have been happening here. And I really can't take credit for anything here except for part of the fire station. I was involved with that and part of the River Road project. But besides that, it's been the board here. That's been busting their butts and doing a great job. And Seth with all the languages of the contracts and everything else there and working tons of hours. It's been awesome. There's been questions posted online as far as, am I going to stay around or am I going to drift back into nothingness? Now I'm going to stick around here to the meetings. A couple reasons. One, got a great group here. Very proud to be associated with them. And two, with having a PPO, it keeps some riffraff out that can't be here to meetings to disrupt us, so I have to go disrupt other meetings and pass that problem on to other folks for a while. So that'd be great. The cool center for early voting was amazing. I got out within 20 minutes. Thoroughly great. Loved that a lot. And yeah, hopefully you too, as the sheriff's deputy, you'll be able to get out there to this person with his 5 legal and 1 unofficial PPO violations that they didn't answer the door 3 times, even the cards in the driveway, they're homeschooling, but no one answered the door. That's fine. But yeah, that would be great to have that served to him and given out so he can go in front of the court judge and explain his multiple violations, how they keep on racking themselves up. So that'd be a beautiful thing. And I can't wait for that to see him in court. And yeah, lovely. So that kind of wraps it up for tonight. Hope you had a good time. Hope it's entertaining. The next meeting will be out here and we'll have a new board. Some people up here, some old, some new, great mixture, great times. Looking forward to it. And you all have a blessed evening. Have a happy Thanksgiving. Don't eat too much, just enough. And have a great night. Adjourned.